Hey everyone, this is Lisa from Life in Layouts, and today I have a sketch it video over at the Crafty Maven Getaway. This is the inspiration piece that we're using this month, and I am using the April 2019 page maps. I'm going to use that 12 by 12 single page layout. And when I was looking at the inspiration piece, I was really inspired by all of the water drops. And I have these photos of my little one when he was in the bathtub, and he was using paint and those water bath paint things. So the bath water is actually like almost the same color green as the inspiration water drops. So I thought that this was a perfect layout to complete. So I pulled out this paper pad that I've had in my collection for years. I don't even think it's still available. It's from the Stampin' Up, and it was right when I started learning about Stampin' Up, and I didn't even know they had paper. Most of their items and papers are used for card making, but this I thought was perfect colors. I really enjoyed the bright colors of the pinks and the blues and the yellows and the greens. So I am using this stripe paper as the background piece, and then I have this yellow whale paper. The back of it is the cloud paper that I used to back my layout, and I gutted the center so I had a little piece left over. And then I'm going to use this green piece of paper that I'm about to pull out right here to back my other photo. So I have a yellow background and a green background, and I think that pulls all of the colors from that stripe paper into these two photos as well. So I'm going to use Tim Holtz Distress ink in Salty Ocean to ink all of the edges of my papers, and I feel like that allows it to pop off of that white cardstock. So these photos were of like I said, my little one in the bath, and he was just playing around and being silly. And as I was washing his hair, he said, "Hey, I want a mohawk." And he has what we call the Justin Bieber hair. It's kind of long and flowy, and it's usually in his eyes, so it's not something that you can really get a mohawk from. So once I got all of the shampoo in it, and it just wasn't sitting straight on his head, it was kind of leaning back. He looked more like he had, if you guys remember that movie Ace Ventura with Jim Carrey, when he has that like funky hairstyle, I think that's what reminded me of it. So I pulled out my book that has all of my embellishments in it, and they are separated by color. And then I got this idea from RTS Scrapbooking. If you haven't checked her out, she's definitely a great person to get lots of inspirations from. So I go through that book and try to find pieces that I think will work with my layout. Sometimes I end up using all of them. Sometimes I have a few pieces left over. Actually, that camera was left over from another layout that I did, but I was like, oh, maybe I can pull it into this one. So I put everything that I think will work on a piece of wax paper, and then pull it out for my layout. So this is where I realized when I went to put that piece down that there's an extra little border piece underneath that 4x6 photo in the sketch. So I just pulled out this yellow piece of paper. It has like a very small petite chevron print on it, but it was the only color that basically I hadn't used so far, so I thought that it would work well as a little banner piece. So once I get it punched out using my border punch, I pull up my pictures and that little circle that I cut out as well to get it to lay down. And that is my title there. The chipboard piece says, "You make my heart smile." So after I spend all that time pulling it back up, then I have to put some adhesive down to make sure it works, or make sure it lays back down. So then I'm just going through all of these embellishment pieces and making it fit where I think works. And at the bottom there, I knew that my journaling wouldn't fit down there. I had a lot of journaling that I wanted to write. So I pull out these different word phrases. That one that's already down says, I love you. This one here in the pink says playful. And then that one says, you are awesome or fantastic or something like that. So I added those instead of the journaling strips in that spot because I wanted to spend a little bit of extra time or extra space on journaling. So I was able to get that camera on, which I was excited about. And now I have this little tag that says love, and I'm going to add it to the side of my photo there. And I just love the way that that came out. I don't know why I don't use more of those because that's really cool. And then these puffy hearts here are from Bella Boulevard, and I have them in both green and blue, so I added those on. And I have this 0 center ruler that I don't ever use for the 0 center, but it has a space where you can draw lines with a pencil, and it makes it so easy to draw journaling lines. And I've had it forever and I love it. And so I use a pencil to draw my journaling lines, and then I start writing my journaling. And this is where I realized I didn't even have enough space, so I pull that out again, which I think is another reason that I love it, because you can always line up the lines for your journaling. So my journaling went around that circle, which I think looks really nice in that area. And then I'm just using my roller date stamp to stamp the date from these photos. And my journaling doesn't really have to do anything with the bath time. It's more about just how my little one is he's a funny little kid, and he's definitely one that doesn't follow others. He's a leader and he does whatever he wants. So it was just kind of a note to him to say, I hope that you don't lose that as you get older, because that's definitely a quality in him that I love as well as the rest of his family loves. So I'm just adding some blue splatters to the white space in this just to give it a little bit of extra pop. I like that white space area, but I wanted just some splatters to add to it. So here are a close-up of my layout and some detail shots. Thanks for joining us here at the Crafty Maven Getaway. If you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that subscribe button because you want to see all the inspirations from these ladies. If you like this layout and you want to see more from me, make sure you check out my link that I will post below for you guys. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I hope you have a scrappy day.